When I was planning my trip to Indonesia, I was told not to visit Jakarta. I was told that it was busy and hectic, that it wasn't really set up for tourists, and that there wasn't a lot to see and do. I was not told about the incredible street food, the kind locals, the beautiful architecture, or any of the many other things that make this such a great city to visit. So in this video, I have compiled all my Jakarta footage to share with you all why I am so grateful that I didn't miss out on visiting this beautiful city.
I'm working on my foreign voice.
My name is Claire Hawkins. I'm a traveling singer-songwriter, and I've just arrived here in Indonesia for the very first time. I hate to admit it, but I have never had Indonesian food before, shocking as that is. But we're here in Indonesia, and we are going to remedy that ASAP. Whoa. I knew that I wanted my first meal in Indonesia to be nasi padang. Nasi translates to rice, and Padang is a city in Indonesia where this food originated. The waiter will bring over a big bowl of rice as well as many other covered dishes that are already prepared the moment you sit down. So the way that this works is that you don't particularly order individual dishes. Instead, the waitstaff will bring over a wide variety of different types of food, and then you can eat what you want to eat, you can try what you want to try, and you'll only be charged for the things that you eat. You don't get charged for every single plate put on your table.
I heard from some celebrity talking about therapy, how it don't come easily, holding back her honesty. I know I wear it on my face, feelings I cannot erase, thoughts that lack a hiding place, your lips, they know the bitter taste.
One of the most famous dishes is called beef rendang, and it's kind of like a beef curry. It's so good. I think this might be my favorite one, but I'm kind of torn because there was also a chicken rendang, which I really liked as well, but it was way spicier.
And now I can see why some people, they choose not to speak.
I really hate to admit, this is very spicy. It's so good. And actually, I think the dish that was the spiciest was also my favorite, but I was kind of fighting through each bite. I think of myself as pretty good with a spice tolerance, but Indonesian food is really challenging that. I'm really grateful for this. On the receipt, it has the itemized list of everything that I ate. So I now know what everything was.
Remember in the darker days, my mind would try to suffocate, bare its teeth and scare away, put nothing on display. I know I wore that muscle out, biting tongue and closing mouth, and now the language won't allow, keeping it all in the house. And so you can see why your reticence is so hard for me.
Now, you know me, I was not going to make an entire video about Indonesian food without coming to get some street food from a night market here in Jakarta. So I am here at Sabang Night Market. I've heard that it's a great one to go to, and there's a lot of different options. So far, I've just been walking up and down the street, looking at all the stalls, smelling all the smells, including durian, and trying to decide what to eat. I want to try a bunch of things. We'll have to see what I get into. I've done my research and I know that one thing that I have to try here in Indonesia is martabak. It's essentially a thin pancake that's fried in lots of oil, and there are different fillings that you can get it with, but I've gotten one with eggs. I don't know if there's other things thrown in. We're gonna find out when I take a bite.
The windows of the world look down on what we shouldn't speak about. Ties they say can't be unwound. How the past relates to now. Still the filter's coming off. My words will have to pay the cost. This open door will stay unlocked. Fight all that I was taught, and then they will see why my breath runs away with me.
This looks so good. It's very deep fried and it's very, very hot. It just came off of the grill. I don't know if grill is the right word. I have been given this teeny tiny little trident, which I'm very grateful for because I think this looks really, really oily and really, really delicious. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's amazing. It's so good. It's really eggy, and there's scallions in it too, which I feel like the scallions really make this. It's so, so good. Again, it's very, very hot, but it's so good. It tastes like a cross between a roti and a crepe or an omelet, honestly. It's so good. The one that I got was obviously salty with the eggs and the scallions, but this stand also does sweet ones, so you can get chocolate and fruit, and there's actually a really, really long menu of sweet options. The portion size is very generous and the price was incredible. It was a little over $2 US. So I think if I don't finish this, I have a little more room for one more thing. I really do want to stress how safe I feel here. Obviously, this is a huge city. You gotta keep your wits about you. Don't be dumb. But everyone just seems so friendly. And, you know, I'm walking here by myself as a woman in shorts, and it doesn't feel weird. I definitely stand out a little bit. There are some other tourists, but for the most part, people just see me and say hello. Or sometimes they say hola, because I think they see me and they're trying to guess where I'm from, which I find hilarious. So my plan had been to search for bakso, which is a meatball soup that's very typical Indonesian. However, that doesn't seem to be the thing to get on this street. I only saw one place that advertises that they serve it, and there was nobody there, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a great restaurant, but it's not a great sign that every single seat was empty. So instead, clearly the thing to get here is mie goreng. Every stand here seems to have it, so I gotta follow the crowd and get that for dinner. That was ridiculously good. Oh my gosh. I am really glad that I couldn't find bakso because I wouldn't have ended up here, and it was incredible. Wow. I will be having that many more times before I leave this country. There are a few different ways that you can order this dish here. There are different types of meat. You can get chicken or beef. The version that I got was called migorang gila, so it was a mix of different kinds of meats and vegetables. Lots of delicious flavors going on. It also cost me just around $2 and I think I have a new favorite meal. It was so good. If you're a fan of pad thai, it's kind of similar. It's definitely its own thing, but if you like one, you'll like the other. What a fantastic introduction to some really delicious Indonesian cuisine.
I've been sitting on a highway, watching cars go by, thinking living in the fast lane could have kept me from hitting rewind.
Behind me and some barbed wire is the National Monument. I did know that it would be closed on Mondays. I didn't know that the entire grounds surrounding it would also be closed, so that's on me. I did think I would get the chance to do a little walk around, but instead, I'm seeing it from outside the fence, and it's still pretty incredible. On days other than Mondays, you are welcome to walk the grounds of the monument, and you can also pay a small fee to go up to the top, which I'm sure has a phenomenal view of the city. This monument is also referred to as Monas, which is short for Monument Nacional. It stands at 132 meters or 433 feet tall, and it opened in the year 1975. So I'm walking along the street here, it's a bit noisy, and something very, very sweet just happened, which I had thought might happen. That apparently it's pretty common in Jakarta that Westerners will be stopped by locals and asked for a photo together. But what I was not expecting was an entire class, an entire school group of children led by their teacher. I just got stopped for a photo shoot. They took so many photos. It was really sweet. All the kids were so nice. Their teacher was so nice. But I was not expecting that in such a big way. I didn't film the interaction because I just generally don't feel comfortable filming other people's children, even ones that clearly wanted to be on camera. But, you know, I don't want to post other people's kids on the internet. That just doesn't feel like my place. But they were so sweet. And it was just such a nice welcome to Jakarta. And also now I'm wondering if that's going to be a thing that happens multiple times.
Oh, these hands of mine, how they tell the time. All alone, sometimes I slipped away. And as I moved around, I swore I liked the sound, but I just can't get myself to say the name.
This is Istiqlal Mosque, which is famous for being the largest mosque in all of Southeast Asia. Right now, it's closed for prayer. It reopens in a little over an hour, so I don't know yet if I'm gonna come back. I obviously would need to cover up a bit to go inside. It's definitely one of the famous sightseeing spots here in the city of Jakarta, and not only for the mosque itself, but for the fact that it is located right across the street from a church. Just across the street from the mosque is Jakarta Cathedral. There are 6 different officially recognized religions of Indonesia, but most of the country is Muslim. That said, the island of Bali is an exception where it is predominantly Hindu. Jakarta Cathedral is a Roman Catholic cathedral that was built in the year 1901. It's free to enter and you're welcome to visit any time of day, and it's really worth visiting. It feels very new, which is interesting because in the grand scheme of churches around the world, it is relatively new, but it's over 100 years old.
A lot of things can feel like summer. Blue skies, a warm rain. It's so easy to hold on to what you know is gonna change.
Not to read too much into these things, but I think the fact that the mosque and the cathedral sit perfectly opposite each other on the same street is a nice metaphor for the mix of religions and cultures here in Indonesia. This is one of those travel times where I don't know where I am. I just saw a cool looking building and I thought, let's walk into it. And there's a couple shops, but not too much going on, but it's a cool building. I've just walked over to a neighborhood called Pasar Baru, which I read translates to New Market, but that's kind of ironic because it's actually one of the oldest markets here in Jakarta. This area definitely feels a lot more local. In general, I haven't really seen many other tourists here. There are some, I'm definitely not the only Westerner, but this area seems like where locals shop.
Oh, these hands of mine, how they tell the time. All alone, sometimes I slipped away. And as I moved around, I swore I liked the sound, but I just can't get myself to say the name.
I just popped into what looks like a discount clothing store somewhat randomly, and I found 3 shirts, and the total for all 3 shirts was $7.54 US. So I might get a whole new wardrobe out of this trip. At the end of this street, there is a more temporary market setup, and the tarps that they have are hung so low that I really have to duck so as not to get hit in the face. I've just taken a Grab, which is the Southeast Asian equivalent of Uber, over to another very important neighborhood to see when you're here in Jakarta. This is Kota Tua, which is the old town, sort of the colonial neighborhood here in Jakarta. As this was historically a Dutch colony, you'll see a lot of Dutch language and architecture and general cultural influence, particularly in this neighborhood. I'm currently standing in Taman Fathahillah, which is the old town square here in Kota Tua. There are many museums here in this area, including the Jakarta History Museum right behind me. I am learning, however, that they all seem to be closed on Mondays. So if there's one takeaway from this video, it's that if you are spending one day in Jakarta, don't have it be a Monday. That said, one thing that is not closed on Mondays is the beautiful Cafe Batavia, which is where we're headed for some lunch. My next stop for Indonesian food here in Jakarta is a bit of a touristy one, but I've been told it's well worth it all the same. This is Cafe Batavia, which was built in the year 1803. It was initially built to be accommodation and offices for officers in the Dutch Army. It was then turned into an art gallery, and then in 1993, it was turned into the restaurant that it is today. there's one dish that you really can't come to Indonesia without trying, it is nasi goreng. As I explained before, nasi translates to rice, and this is a fried rice dish. There are many different ways that you can get it. The one that I've ordered came with a side of chicken satay. There's a fried egg on top. And essentially, it just kind of tastes like the best fried rice you've ever had. I am so excited about this. It looks even better than whatever I was expecting. I'm also very, very hungry. Like I said, it is most definitely considered a very touristy spot. However, I'm pretty impressed with the prices. My meal, despite being a very popular dish at a very popular restaurant, was only about $6 US. Considering that Kota Tua is a very major tourist spot in Jakarta, I'm really impressed by how calm it feels. That said, there don't seem to be a lot of tourists here. I don't know if that's a seasonal thing, if that's the fact that it's Monday. I'm not really sure. Maybe that's just Jakarta, but it's very calm and I feel so welcomed as a tourist. Everyone that I've talked to has been so kind.
When were you out of the blue, and how did you stay? 'Cause I've been strong, but this moving on has guided me astray, and it's taken me away.
It's time for me to head back to my accommodation for a little bit, and I was going to call a grab, but I realized I'm right by a metro station. The Jakarta Metro is pretty new. They began construction in the year 2013, and it officially opened in 2019. So it's only a few years old, which I'm very excited to experience. If you are taking the MRT, you're going to need to stop by the ticket counter to get what I think is the world's most adorable train ticket. You cannot just tap with your phone using Apple Pay or whatever your typical payment service is. But this card, you do have to pay for in cash, and it was 50,000 for one way.
These hands of mine, how they tell the time. All alone, sometimes I slipped away. And as I moved around, I swore I liked the sound, but I just can't get myself to say the name.
So I sat down in the first car, and I was wondering why so many people seem to be walking past this first car to go sit somewhere else. And it's because this is a women's only car. So all the men that are getting on are just passing through and will be sitting in the car they're allowed to sit in, which is something very interesting that I've only experienced before in Egypt. I am going to take this chance to say thank you so much for watching. I have just had the best first impressions of Jakarta, but also Indonesia on the whole. I feel like I had such a limited understanding of this culture and this country, and I'm still learning so much, but I'm so grateful to be here. I think what happens a lot is when people come to Indonesia, they've heard incredible things about Bali and Jakarta gets overlooked. And that was something I really didn't want to do myself. I am so grateful for this time here in Jakarta. These songs in this video were all my own original music. That is me singing. I've linked my music down in the video description, but you can also search Claire Hawkins anywhere you listen to music online. Please make sure to subscribe and leave me a comment letting me know where in the world you're watching from and where you think I'm headed next here in Indonesia. Thank you again so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon.
I'm working on my foreign